We are live on satellite media and we are doing a newspaper review. Let us quickly look at what we have on the cover page of Vanguard newspaper. As you can understand, it is no longer a secret that Nigeria is facing serious level of food inflation occasioned by policy of Nigerian government. And it's like government is responding to see if they could survey the suffering Nigerians are passing through. Because for what we can see here, of course, the major headline is saying FG, that is federal government, opts for duty-free imports of rice, beans, wheat, other grains. Perhaps that will reduce the price of food that is skyrocketing in the country. It will impact on inflation. That is coming from NACCIMA, a step in the right direction, coming from CIPPE. I think let us look at other things we have here. He's saying 72 hours after abduction, fate of Kaduna journalists remains unknown. I think the government need to see what they can do to address that. Okay, let us have you on this program. You are welcome. You are Mr.
Jimsa.
Mr.
Jimsa.
Okay, let us get your view with respect to the intention of federal government of Nigeria to see whether they can solve the problem of food inflation. What they're saying, federal government asks for duty-free imports of rice, beans. Would it be a panacea to solving our food inflation crisis?
Yeah, it's not a panacea, a fully panacea, but it is part of it. You know, we should have reasoned this for so long, and not after the whole thing has struggled and Nigerians are getting tired of this time. So that's when they have the wake up call that let us take off the fee on food items. Bringing in. At first, I thought former President Buhari, thought that is a good idea to close all the borders. I don't know why in a country whereby you cannot control or manage the food productions of your states, and the next thing you will think of doing is to close all the border. Well, you are not closing the border for insurgency, but you are closing the border because of import of food to the country. That that you have done nothing of 80% to make sure that to solve food scarcity in a country whereby the herdsmen and the bandits could not let our farmers to farm. That is when you now took it upon yourself to close the border. When the farmers cannot go to farm to farm again. Yeah, that is bygone. Now that the President Tinubu has come with the idea, the concept, it's not about not collecting money for the fee. You can actually collect money, but how much is the fee charges that you are collecting on import of foods? Okay, for a container, at least a one container will contain as was like 800 bags to 900 bags of rice or 800 bags of beans. Okay, on a container of food, of bag of rice or any kind of food, okay, we are going to charge 100,000. It's not too much. You understand?
Sorry, maybe don't be offended. I want to put on hold. I want to have Mr. Araf first.
Okay.
I'll bring him back. I'm sorry about that. Mr. Araf Umechi, I'm bringing you into this program specifically because of the recent development happening from Finland. Because some people have raised an issue, saying that the Southeastern governors lack legitimacy to negotiate for Biafra and the release of Nnamdi Kanu.
Yes, they don't.
Does it not mean? Is it not going to stall the possible release of Nnamdi Kanu?
Releasing or stalling, releasing or not doesn't matter to any Igbo man like us. What we are talking about is how legitimate is this negotiation, led by the most aggressive governor against Igbo, against Southeasterners, against Biafra in the Southeastern Nigeria. You know who I'm talking about? The perceived enemy of the Igbo. Someone that has been tormenting, disturbing, working hard with his Fulani masters to make sure that he exterminates the race called Igbo. The former plan that failed from 1967 to 1970, extermination of the Igbo race by Hausa Fulani, failed woefully because of the kind of resilient people, the indigenous people of that land, Biafra, were then and now. They did not succeed on extermination of the Igbo race. Hausa Fulani started it. Okay? The program started 64, 65, killings of Igbo man in the north. 66, 67, the actual war escalated. Nigeria Biafra Civil War did not signify that it was the first time Igbos were maimed, killed, and decimated in Nigeria. Not. I don't know whether you understand me. So, how truthful, honest are these governors? Are they speaking or negotiating so that Biafra will go forever? Or are they speaking or negotiating to allow Nnamdi Kanu to come out, then Nigeria and the Biafra will go to United Nations or any platform holding the whole League of Nations of the world to discuss or profile solution towards Biafra a referendum.
But
See,
Mr.
let me tell you, no, I trust Ekpa. What Ekpa is seeing, I'm seeing it. Because those men are not supporting Biafra.
Let me remind you
Those governors are enemies of Biafra. Nnamdi Kanu will not die there.
Where Nnamdi Kanu spoke, though he acknowledged that it's Nigerian constitution for the judge to rely on section 17 of High Court Act to initiate the process. But the point is, from what his lawyer said, not the lawyer, I'm talking about from what Senator Ene Abaribe said, that he had conversation with Nnamdi Kanu himself, that Nnamdi Kanu is ready to accept condition so long as it will secure his early release from detention. Because if you have a political solution, definitely the federal government may drop the charges and stop the case. Would that not be a welcome development?
It's a welcome development. If they ask me if I could be in his position to negotiate, I will honor the invitation. But what I'm saying is that did the Igbo not agitate with arms, charms, bulletproof, as in Yoruba tradition? Did the Igbo's house, did federal forces not discover arms in Igbo's house? How many years did Igbo started his own agitation? Was it up to 1 year? Arms and ammunition were discovered in his house. Thank you so much. Listen, I'm coming up. Nnamdi Kanu and Wazulike, the former Biafra agitator under Mazop, started having issue in London. And then Nnamdi Kanu, began to agitate on his own. He separated from Wazulike. Sorry, 2014, 2013, down till date. From that 2014 to 2018, did the federal forces, Nigerian military and police, discover any arms in Nnamdi Kanu's compound? The IPOBs, the member, the followers, the whole Igbo man, did any policeman or soldier arrest anyone of Igbo man and accuse him of what? Wearing arms, using arms, AK-47 for this agitation? Nobody. Nnamdi Kanu himself, his house, his rooms, his father's compound, no arms and ammunition were discovered there. The Igbo that was agitating his own with arms and the charms, they discovered it in his house. DSS killed some people in his house.
But wait.
No, the conversation. He interrupted me. Let me finish what I'm saying. Nnamdi Kanu was not arrested with any arms, and still Tinubu releasing Igbo. Igbo that was arrested with arms, before you know it, he absconded into the Republic of Benin, and he was apprehended there. They jailed him there. They set him free, and he goes. Nnamdi Kanu that nobody has ever arrested him with any arm is now incarcerated. He's now in detention. Okay, what are you telling?
No, let me tell you what I'm telling you. I want to no, listen.
There are some questions that aggravate my
No,
anger.
listen. You are not getting the point of the
Okay, that agreement must come to be. You know, I don't know what you are saying. There is what is called elaboration in argument.
But understand the question I want to ask.
You expand it. Not the kind of that any the governors are fighting for. You know, as in negotiating with federal government. Some are saying he should beg federal government. What is his crime? He has been freed by a competent court of jurisdiction. A court that freed Nnamdi Kanu. Is it different from the court that freed Igboho? Igboho did not even go court. Let me tell you. Igboho did not go court. Igboho was set free by his brother, Tinubu. So what people are saying, the kind of question people are asking me aggravates my anger and annoyance.
No, let me tell you the question.
was not discovered by any arms, with any arms, sorry. No catch of arms.
Mr. Arab, let me, the question I'm asking is this. It's not comparison here. What I'm saying is, the Southeastern governors recently made a move to engage federal government. And even before then, we have seen senators from the southeastern part of the country engaging with the Attorney General of the Federation. We have seen 50 House of Rep members writing the president, Senator Ahmed Bola Tinubu, asking, I'm coming, Mr. Arab. I'm coming, Mr. Arab. Mr. Arab, I will appreciate if you allow me to ask question.
Okay, come on.
Now, the question is this. Samuel Ekpa, on one hand, is saying the Southeastern governors lack the legitimacy to negotiate for Biafra and the release of Nnamdi Kanu. The question I'm asking is, this move of Samuel Ekpa, is it not going to delay the release of Nnamdi Kanu?
If it delays the release of Nnamdi Kanu, it means we are running, we are telling the world that we are aggressive against a man that has not done anything. What Ekpa is saying about Nnamdi Kanu has to do with Nnamdi Kanu? It means we Nigerians, we are all against ourselves. We are trying to be tribalistic, thereby hiding it to the world, telling the whole world that we are one nation, united in one accord and love. So what does somebody that is agitating for Biafra referendum in Finland has to do with the release of Nnamdi Kanu? I can be saying anything I'm saying. If they know that there's no law, actually, of course, they know that Nnamdi Kanu did not contravene any law. The proscribed IPOB as a proscription of IPOB as a terror organization has been proscribed. They removed the clause. They have removed it. So what is it that made federal government at this point in time, holding somebody that is innocent? It did not contravene. Excuse me, let me tell you. By the time the whole Igbos leave southwestern Nigeria, leave the aggressive north that are Timli Fulani, they will begin to understand who we are. I'm an Igbo man. If the whole Igbos could understand the way I do, people should desert. People should start thinking about leaving Yoruba land. They don't appreciate us. If Yoruba man appreciate Igbo man, Tinubu, unquestionable, is supposed to let Nnamdi Kanu off the cage. See, let me tell you, let Igbo man go. Igbo man should go. Igbo man should go home. Take our investment home. Let us leave these people. Oga, let's give these people just 6 months. They will feel it. That they are the one that are much entangled, engrossed with the cause, the fight to disintegrate Nigeria. And Igbo man has been trying to live coherently with any of our sister tribe men in Nigeria. But they are the ones that are very, very aggressive to us. I think understand, anytime trying to differentiate who is Igbo, who is Yoruba, who is Hausa and the Fulani, which is, of course, is reflecting on the way they are rotating presidency in Nigeria right from 1970 till date. No Igbo man is there. Nobody in Nigeria is inferior. We don't look down on anybody. We're Igbos. So what I'm trying to say is negotiating this or that. Whether anybody goes there with Ejimako and the rest of Nnamdi Kanu's legal team does not matter. What matters is, did he contravene any law? What did the court say about him? Who is giving the common man, the poor man, justice? Is it not the court? The court? Is the court not the hope of the common man anymore? Is it office of the presidency? Is it the southeastern governor? Are you trying to tell me that it's the lawmakers? See, court has freed Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu is being held, and these governors are still negotiating. What negotiation? Tell Tinubu to remove him. The lawmakers to tell him, remove him there. You remove your brother, and which is the point that made it possible for this, consensus going on now among the lawmakers, the governors, and the Nnamdi Kanu's legal team. It has been a consensus that the man should come out. That is where the meeting or agreement or whatever and all that is pointing to.
I must say very thank you, Mr. Arab. Thank you very much for your time. Mr. Liwan, you are welcome to this program. We are live on Satellite Media. I am taking you to what is happening in Nigeria, because it's no longer a secret that there is food inflation in Nigeria. And the government seems to be waking up from that slumber. Don't forget that federal government have been severally accused of not being enough, because initially they made some promises ranging from loading out vehicles that run on CNG, to giving out 1 million or 500,000, as the case may be, to a good number of small and medium scale enterprises, giving 1 billion to about 75 companies to galvanize economic activities and improve our GDP. We can go on and on. But more than 1 year after those promises, the government seems to be full dragging. But currently, we are seeing a green light, if I may say. Federal government up for duty-free imports of rice, beans, wheat, other grains. It is a welcome development, Mr. Riwa.
Good morning, federal government. But our viewers, good morning first. Your own good morning is a very good morning. When I say good morning to our viewer, to federal government, is that they just a break. I'll never forget, because I always go back to history, anything I do. Then, Ken Sawiwa went to meet the Ikembanewi, the Modumego Juku in prison. He met him. Good evening. No, he said no. Good morning. So good morning, federal government. They just a break. People have died since the assumption of this government. Many people have lost their income. Many companies have collapsed. Good morning after 1 year. But then I'm looking at the implementation. No, it's a good development. I like to see progress. But I'm looking at the implementation. I'm looking at the people that the government will put in charge to make sure that this thing is being distributed. You see, in Nigeria, there's announcement, there's implementation. This announcement, you can celebrate, you can jubilate, you can jump up, you can jump down. But then, I'm looking at that implementation stage. How is it going to be implemented? It's going to be implemented. That's my point of view. I'm a kind of person that I'm over 30 years, so I've seen many things happen. So I don't jump at excitement when I hear any piece of information. I wait. I look at the implement and I say yes, you are doing the right thing. If it's my announcement, Mr. Matthew, by this time, Nigeria is better than Dubai. We have seen many announcements. We've seen Vision 2020, Vision 2030, but we are winning in 2024. So, but it is good. Like what you read out is good if the government can implement it. But again, it has come a little bit too late. But in my language, I say that okay. The sun, as you can see dry some clothes. That means people are still hungry. They can implement this in good faith. Nigerians will be the biggest beneficiary of this announcement. But anything government, even state, even federal, I take it with a pinch of salt. I am looking out for how this is going to be implemented. It's very good newspaper. We have seen many deals. My federal government signed 6 million on my deal. They came out to deny it. We have seen many things. So can we trust the government? Can you do a survey? You can do a survey now. Take your mic and ask people. If you trust government, over 90% will say no. Is it their fault? No. We've seen many things. We've seen many things. We've seen many promises.
Okay, now let us away from this. Let us look at the issue involving Nnamdi Kanu. I'm talking about the Biafra agitator who is in GSS facility. We have seen a religious leader this time around, Prophet Ayodele, asking Nnamdi Kanu to beg federal government to get out of detention. And we have seen on the one hand, Ekpa, who is a Biafra agitator based in Finland, saying that the Southeastern governors lack the legitimacy to negotiate for Biafra and the release of Nnamdi Kanu. Yes. Now, the argument is, this recent move by Ekpa, is it not going to stall or rather delay the release of Nnamdi Kanu?
Before Ekpa, before his time, because I've just been hearing about him recently. I've known Nnamdi Kanu for a long time, and I have sympathy for him. That even though I don't celebrate, even though I'm a person, I have my own mind, so I don't follow. I'm not a zombie. I don't follow everything Nnamdi Kanu says. Sometimes I disagree. I don't fear anybody. But is he on the right path? I may say yes. I may say no. Then I've been saying it. What I've been saying is same thing. Somebody is saying that it seems, it's my opinion, that I don't think that the Southeastern governors they have that political will enough to fight for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. I have my feeling. I've been saying it. I've been tagging Igbo every time. And I tell people, look, zoom into my face. And there's this tribal mark. You can see that I'm a clear Yoruba person. I'm a full-blooded Yoruba person. I'm supposed to be a Yoruba person. But you see, Jesus says, "I shall know the truth, and the truth will make you free." The truth is that there are some South governors that may be afraid of the popularity of Nnamdi Kanu. Yes, we've seen religious leaders from that side. Anglican bishop, Catholic priest, and everybody, they've come out. We've seen national rulers from southeastern states. They've come out. But we have not seen that political will of the southeastern state governors enough. For example, we saw how Obasanjo took it upon himself when Sunday Igboho was detained. We saw it. We saw Yoruba men. You understand? But openly or covertly, make sure that Sunday Igboho found a way to release from Benin Republic. But Southern governor, they might be afraid. You don't see, politics is the greatest undoing that has ever happened to Nigeria. Understand? So that's why I'm a kind of person I don't pump up and say I don't pity for them. If they have that political will, especially now under Tinubu, Tinubu is a Southern president. He's a Yoruba man like me. You cannot see, forget it. I always say Nigeria don't want, so don't ever deceive you. You can't compare mentality of a Yoruba man with a Fulani man. See, 3 major tribes: Hausa, Fulani, Igbos, and Yorubas. In Nigeria, the two major tribes, they have almost same kind of mentality. Take it away, forget politics. It's Yorubas and Igbos. They are more tolerant than Fulani people. So Tinubu is a Yoruba man. I've been saying it. This man, if the other way, if there's a good negotiation, if the Southern governors they find a way to meet him, how do I feel that? Tinubu, we find a way to release Nnamdi Kanu. You understand? But no, the people of the governors of the southeastern state, they are afraid of this man popularity. But I'll be saying it. If, for example, any state governor in southeast say go out, Nnamdi Kanu say don't go, and just him standing, people will likely follow Nnamdi Kanu than them. What I'm talking about. So they may be afraid of him, and like, if this man is released, would the release of Nnamdi Kanu diminish their political influence in southeast? That is their fears. That's my opinion. That's their fears. That's why they've not worked hard enough for Nnamdi Kanu to be released.
I must say very thank you, Mr. Ariwan. Thank you very much for your time. We hope to have you next time. Mr. Chinedu Michael, you are welcome to this program. We are looking at two issues here. One has to do with the federal government proposed intervention to survey the issue of food inflation, opting for duty-free of rice, beans, and some other things, so that whether the price of food can cut down in Nigeria. Then we're actually looking at Nnamdi Kanu's travel. We have a situation where it's no longer secret that there is current some move by different groups. We have seen senators, House of Rep members, about 50 of them calling for Nnamdi Kanu release, writing the president, Senator Bola Tinubu. We have seen individuals like younger brother to the former governor of Ekiti State, Ayo Fayoṣe, calling for his release. We have seen recently the governors from the southeastern part of the country trying to meet with the president to demand for Nnamdi Kanu release. Even senators are not left out. Nnamdi Kanu led them the other day to the Attorney General of the Federation. But surprisingly, the Biafra agitator from Finland, I'm talking about Ekpa, he said that the governors lack the legitimacy to negotiate for Biafra and Nnamdi Kanu release. As a renowned political analyst and as someone who cherishes Biafra struggle, what is your view with this talk Nnamdi Kanu release?
No, let me just take it from the angle first, from what the federal government is trying to do to cushion the effect of trial and error of this government in terms of policy implementation and the rest. But let me just add to this, if you look at why there was a sudden open of Nigerian borders, it tells you, that there's a certain information the presidency is having that Nigerians, a lot of Nigerians might not have been able to have access to it, that have led or that have pushed the Tinubu-led administration to be able to look at it from the angle that there is need for us to open the border at this point in time. First, we are going to take a cue from the development in Kenya, where William Ruto and the Kenyan youth are battling for the survival of the soul of Kenya. And There's also an intelligence report believed to be currently now on the table of Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, over an impending doom, riot, revolution or revolt, by the Nigerians, by the Gen Zs over the economic situation currently in the country. And if care is not taken, and if anything is not done on that regard, it might go as long as damaging Nigeria and of course damaging the image of the current president of Nigeria, talking about Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So based on those intelligence reports, there's going to be a mass let's put it very clearly, a kind of answers like, that will be hunger driven. So at that point, they see that when this kind of a thing ignites or starts, federal government will find it very difficult to stop it, because hunger does not know religion, hunger does not know tribe, hunger does not believe in ethnicity, hunger does not even know whether there's any president or not. So the best thing for them to do now is to look for means, either by hook or crook, to at least, even if it's going to be for 6 months or 1 year, to cushion the effect of the crisis, economic crisis Nigerian citizens are going through at this point in time. So on the other angle too, talking about Nnamdi Kanu, no, the body language of so many of some of these Eastern governors, indicates that they are trying to push Nnamdi Kanu to a position which will be very difficult for them to, not for Nnamdi Kanu, to accept whatever that is going to be thrown at the table at the end of the day, and when he's being released, he should forget anything that has to do with Biafra. And that is the consciousness of those Biafrans. But unfortunately, it has been decoded, by Biafranists all over the world, by agitators all over the world, by watchers all over the world, by Biafran analysts all over the world. The Biafranists themselves, believe in and centering on that Nnamdi Kanu himself will not be able to go in that direction, and they are doing it for their political gain, considering the fact that the political development does not favor the president second term, and the president need to use Nnamdi Kanu as a negotiating factor to get Eastern Bloc vote ahead of 2027, and that is the reason, that is the angle some of these Eastern governors are trying to play on, but the fact still remains that, whichever way you look at it, I think to an extent, Samuel Ekpa is wrong, given the angle the governors are coming from, to make sure that Nnamdi Kanu is being left off the hook.
Now, finally on this, let us look at the one that came from Prophet Ayodele, asking Nnamdi Kanu to beg federal government if he hope to come out of detention.
I do not look at it from that angle of most Nigerians, because I consider that statement from a man of God at first. I know that God cannot lie. I know that God has something to offer Biafrans, no matter how you look at it. And God cannot come from heaven, to free his own people. God needs to use somebody, and God is using Nnamdi Kanu in that direction. And God cannot bow to a lesser God. God is God of Biafra. The God of Biafra cannot bow to the God of this bad nature. Nigeria is a bad nature, and it's a threat to Biafrans. And Biafrans can never bow to bad nature. Biafra is good nature. So looking at it from that angle of divinity, Nnamdi Kanu represents a certain thing. When you talk about religion too, he represents Christianity. Biafra represents Christianity, no matter how you look at it. So telling Nnamdi Kanu to go and beg federal government makes that prophecy by Ayodele, illegitimate. That's the way I look at it, and you can see reactions. Millions of people all over the world, has condemned that act of, because you can look at it very well. There is ethnic undertone in it, there is biasness in it, and the time is not right because I do not see how an innocent person should go and beg for what he did not do. And that is the reason why we are saying, maybe Prophet Ayodele himself, should also put everything in prayer and let God decide what will be the fate of Biafra and of course Nnamdi Kanu. Having said on so many occasions that he believed that Biafra will come, and according to him, he said the way Biafra will come will surprise the whole world. And of course, it has to be led and has to be started by somebody. And Nnamdi Kanu has advanced the Biafran contest quest, in all the consciousness of most world leaders and of course Africans and the world, as I speak to you today. So Nnamdi Kanu did not do anything wrong and cannot bow to something that he knew that is right.
I think you've done justice to that. But let us quickly look at, because this one has to do with insecurity. We are seeing here 72 hours after abduction, fate of Kaduna journalists remain unknown. These are journalists who were adopted. We are talking about insecurity. And if you look at the food inflation we are facing in Nigeria, it's somehow tied to insecurity. I personally had a contact with someone from Benue who told me he buy rice, beans, yam, name it, from Lagos and sent to village. According to him, his family have been in ID camp for over 8 years, meaning he didn't start with this administration. Kidnapping, stopping people from going to their farmlands. What do you think is the panacea to that?
It has always started with the government. It's a government. With the government we're having today is a continuum of the past government. The government of Nigeria has never stopped. It is government that created the insecurity, that has understand what is going on in terms of government policies, in terms of how people are responding to governance in their own country, and they should not be harmed. Because journalists, anywhere you see them, they should be protected, because they go they take most time their life is at stake, trying to get to the public on development surrounding their statehood, their nationhood, and how they intend to understand government policies. Journalists are very important in any society, no matter how you look at it, and they should not be harmed. Wherever they are, whoever that is involved in that act, should consider the fact that journalists are not harmful and they should be freed with immediate effect.
I think I must say a very big thank you, Mr. Chief. Thank you very much for your time. We hope to have you next time. And to our S.East viewers, I say a very big thank you for being with us, for following the program, and to our viewers who commented online, we say a very big thank you for being part of this program. I think this is a good place to let it go. I am Mr. Matthew, and this is Satellite Media. Thank you very much.